Alright, so here I am leveling this primalist, and it's come to my attention that a lot of people don't understand how boss award is good for the game. So we're going to do a little boss fight here, and I'm going to explain it. So here's a boss, and we're going to DPS him. And we hit him hard, and oh no, there's a boss ward mechanic. And I could burn through that ward, but if my damage isn't high enough, then the ward's going to decay faster than I can burn through it. And if it is, then I can just go ahead and DPS it. And so the boss ward mechanic is designed to give the bosses a larger health pool without actually increasing their health pool. And this is good for a few reasons. Number one, if you're a low DPS character, then you can wait out the boss ward. Maybe you're playing a tanky character. Maybe you're playing hardcore and you've put so much into your defenses that you just don't have the DPS to burn through that ward. And so you have the tactical decision to be able to move back, let your cooldowns reset, pick up some potions on the ground, and do things to prepare for the next phase. If you're a high DPS character, you can just burn right through it. It's not complicated. It's just another health pool for the boss. But there's some alternatives that it could have done, and I want to tell you why they're bad alternatives. So the first one that comes up is, oh, well, just give the boss more health. So that boss had 2 ward shields. That's 3 times the health. If you can kill that boss in 10 seconds, you can now kill him in 30 seconds. You're a high DPS character. Fight is a little bit longer, but it's still short. If you're a low DPS character, you were killing that boss in 15 seconds before. But that's because of the ward shields. Now that the ward shields are gone, it doesn't take you 3 times the amount of time. It takes you 6, 7 times the amount of time. And now you're beating on the boss for a minute or a minute and a half longer on long boss fights. And that becomes tedious, not exciting, and takes a lot away from the gameplay. Instead of it being a 10-second versus 15-second fight between high DPS and low DPS, now it's 30 seconds or 3 minutes. Not a fun style of gameplay for people that are on the non-high DPS standpoint. Now, another thing they did before, which was damage reduction. So in order to slow down the fight, the boss periodically gained large amounts of damage reduction. And if you're a class that relies on leech, all of a sudden your leech pool vanishes. The boss hits you with a degen and you fall over dead. And you don't understand why. And even if you understand why, it just feels bad. And so it's not a good mechanic to have in the game. There's a lot of things that are based around how much damage you do, and just huge amounts of damage reduction are not good for extending the length of the boss fight. Another option is invulnerability phases. And I don't think I have to explain this to y'all. Invulnerability phases, they suck. They're fucking garbage. Get them out of the game. They serve no purpose. They might as well just tack on an extra 30-second cinematic at the end of the fight and make me sit there and wait till I get my loot. Extending the boss fight through an invulnerability phase does not provide anything positive to the gameplay. Whereas extending the boss fight with ward phases gives players time to strategize, recoup, get cooldowns up, or just burn through it if you're a god and you could just one-shot everything anyway. And so the ward doesn't bother you. Stop looking at this ward confused or angry or annoyed because you got another blue bar you got to burn through. Try to understand the positive aspects of it and the steps that EHG has gone through to really improve the quality of the boss fight without just improving the length of the boss fight. Now, questions that come up are things like, could they have made it better? Possibly. Feedback. Let us know what you think. I don't think they could have made it better. Maybe a combination of the damage reduction and the ward, where it's not so heavily weighted against the life leech builds and not so heavily weighted against the high DPS builds. There are things that they could do to change that, possibly to make it better. But as it sits right now, I really think it's a solid mechanic that has very, very little downfall. Now, if the ward just gives you like a mental block and bothers you to see it, I understand it. But try to understand the value that it's bringing to the table. It's a positive change to the game, and I'm really excited that EHG has come up with this. Now, I know y'all all have thoughts on it. I hope I was able to clear up why I believe it's a fantastic mechanic that pretty much every other ARPG should learn from. But let us know what your thoughts are down below. I'd love to hear you. All right, folks, thanks for stopping by and watching our video. If you liked what you saw, give me a like, follow, subscribe. Also, come by the stream and say hi. Love to answer questions and help however I can. Y'all have a wonderful day wherever you are.